It is made to connect people when you are riding.
Just purely in terms of range, this device wins out.
Even if we are only 4 connected, but we are 4 connected always, rather than 20 never connected.
So hello guys, welcome to A Couple of Rides, and today we're gonna discuss a very unique product that I had no idea existed, and Nikhil and Dushyant here found this product called the LEXIN. So the LEXIN ST4 Pro is a product that I had no idea existed a while back, and these guys have used Cardos and Senas in their riding lifetime, and they've come to a point where LEXIN scores higher value to the group than Cardo has ever done. So here is me, Nitin, this is Dushyant and Nikhil. They will talk about LEXIN in depth, but before we move forward, this is a couple of rides, trying to score some subscribers and likes and shares and conversations and comments. So please do that, and let's move forward. So guys, welcome to A Couple of Rides, and a unique product that you guys found out, and I really want to know where did you guys find it?
So I'll take that. I was just, when I first started riding, it's been about 5-6 years now. So I wanted something that was inexpensive. I just needed to be able to listen to music, answer phone calls. I wasn't riding with a group or anything. I was riding myself. So I just needed something inexpensive, able to take phone calls, music. And I just came upon this. I didn't want to spend 30,000 rupees. So I was just researching. There were a few, YouTube videos that I found comparing this product, which is the LEXIN FT4 Pro, to Cardos and Senas, and there was definitely the sort of takeaway from most of these videos was it was definitely value for money in terms of what it does and what it offers. And so I found it on Amazon. They have their own website, LEXIN Moto. And so I basically just ordered it off of a relative from the US. It's actually not available in India, so I had a relative pick it up for me and bring it here. So for the longest time it was just me using it.
So prior to this, you had no idea of a connectivity, build quality?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I had no idea how it would do as an intercom device. If I had another 3 riders with me, I didn't know how it would perform. So it was purely by chance. I was taking a bit of a chance buying it, but when I first started using it, it was just for phone calls and music, and it served the purpose. And we'll touch on this later, I guess, in terms of sound quality and build quality. But it served the purpose initially when I was riding solo. So yeah, that's how I found it. I found it off of the internet. Looked up a few reviews on YouTube, comparing it to Senas and Cardos.
And it scored really high.
It scored very high in terms of sound quality, in terms of just pure value for money, in terms of what you get, in the box. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the suite of apps that you get with Cardo and Sena, but I didn't think it was really necessary for what I wanted to do. So that's how I came upon it.
So next question, Dushyant, since you've also been using it for a while, and there has been some experience between the two of you. How do you rate the overall, say, build quality and connectivity of this device? Let's say compare it with Cardo.
Okay, so I'll start with LEXIN only. We've been using it for over a year and a half now, and it was through Nikhil that we got introduced to this brand, so to say.
Thank you, Nikhil.
I must admit, and all of us in the group I think we have around 6 devices now, and
we've got more.
More?
Yeah, I think
so
we've got
around 8 devices, yeah. And I think we are looking at another couple of devices more.
8 devices is a lot.
We have 8 devices, and we are looking at more devices now, and that is the kind of satisfaction that we've been able to derive. Okay, we'll come to Cardo, how it was, and what happened with Cardo. But then LEXIN has been a game winner for us.
Absolutely.
Another point is that you should any device that we talk about today, any product, we should review it from the perspective of the purpose it is made for. It's not a device that probably you will keep throwing around, or you'll only be using it for listening to high quality music or something like that. It's a connectivity device. It is made to connect people when you are riding.
So yeah, my main question was whether it is at par or better than Cardo in terms of the connectivity, between the 4 riders that it claims to connect.
See, like we mentioned, we are 8 riders using it right now, and we've used it across rides now, within the city, like for Sunday rides that we do, and longer rides that we have done in the hills, and otherwise also in plains like Rajasthan and all of that. Very recently, the devices have performed really well. I mean, they've given us, at certain stretches, they've given us connectivity of over a kilometer also. I would not.
Over a kilometer
yeah.
is a lot.
It is. It definitely is. Tested. And this is what I am telling you on camera after having used the device for over a year and a half.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you've got say 4 riders, and if the connectivity is, even if it's 1 kilometer between rider A and rider B, if you've got 2 more riders, and if they're also at a distance of say another kilometer each, that's about 4 kilometers covered between all of us.
So one to the other, and
Exactly.
keep on connecting kilometer after kilometer. That's a lot.
That's a lot of connectivity. Yeah, I mean, obviously when we were riding in Rajasthan, it's wide open stretches, so there are no obstructions. Those are wide open roads. So obviously connectivity benefits from there. But even inside the city, where you have trucks or flyovers or these power lines, it's never been an issue in terms of disconnecting or voice crackling and all of that. That isn't something we had a good experience with Cardo.
It has been I can call it a lifesaver in certain cases.
Absolutely.
I may be exaggerating a little, but then obviously 80% a lifesaver, I would say. I mean, we've been in situations where the phones are not working, and suddenly we discover that there is some noise in the helmet, and we see that the LEXINs are still connected, and we have communicated over LEXINs.
That's amazing.
And there is no GPS connectivity or over the phone or something, like stretches like Longewala where we recently were, and we could just seamlessly talk through LEXIN, helmet to helmet. Now, if this is what it does, I mean, and for the price that we paid, I mean, if you kind of pick up 3 Cardos today, for that cost, you'll be able to pick up at least 6 or 7 LEXINs.
Yeah.
How much is the LEXIN FT4 for?
So if you buy like a dual, if you buy a dual pack, I think that comes out to about
$300.
$300.
Yeah.
That's about 12,000 rupees each, 12 to 13,000 rupees
But
each.
you have to get it like from somebody.
You'd have to get it from somebody. We also got lucky once when 2 of our riders ordered it, and so LEXIN sent it by a US post. Which was so for some reason they didn't attach any duty to it.
Yeah.
But
That was me only.
that was Kumar and Dushyant. But when we a couple of other riders ordered it, so it's a matter of luck whether the duty gets attached or not. But if you have someone, if they can bring it for you, I think that.
Yeah, we were planning to go to Udaipur that time, and we were looking for a device when Nikhil suggested to go in for LEXIN. And we had no option, so we ordered it through the website, LEXIN website, US.
I remember.
And we were like, it was like halfway chance that we will get it before we leave. And it turned around in around 10 days time.
Which is fast.
Yeah,
Is fast
it was
from
pretty
US.
fast, yeah.
US shipping.
And this is their local post. This is not even FedEx.
Local US post and then local Indian, what do you call
Yeah,
it?
India post,
Speed post.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move the conversation to A, sound quality, B, the handling of devices. Because it has a couple of buttons. Is it ergonomically nice? Does it sound nice? That sort of a thing. So starting with Dushyant,
I'll speak on clarity. And I think Nikhil would be a better person to speak on the various buttons
with the buttons.
Well, he is the one who kind of connects. Every Sunday he's the one who's kind of doing it for us. Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, but clarity wise, again, no problem.
Compared to a Cardo Edge that you guys was using.
See, while I say if a Cardo on a scale of 10, if I'll rate a Cardo as a 9, this would be around 7.5.
7.5, 8, yeah.
Which is very good.
Which is negligible.
Acceptable, yeah. It's
And now after using Cardo, I don't see a problem in speakers at all. For LEXIN speakers, I'm saying. Cardo is JBL, and this is, I don't know what speakers they have.
This is basically
their
their own
proprietary.
yeah.
Whatever speakers there, but then crystal clear now.
It also depends on how you place the speakers
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, that has always been the case.
Yeah.
See,
Cardo
there
also
are
gives-
teething issues. Obviously, you learn. I mean, you have to experiment where the speaker should be, where the mic should be. It's with all the devices.
Major manufacturers, let me
Yeah.
put it down. All major manufacturers, they always put in a point where the placement of speakers matters the most to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cardo, Sena, will take whatever. They emphasize on this placement point very nicely and very point to be taken sort of a thing.
Now, see, sound clarity, no issues. In terms of how loud the sound could be, again, no issues.
The connectivity on intercom, which is
like
via Bluetooth, right?
Which is via Bluetooth.
Via Bluetooth,
Bluetooth 5.1, I think. And so I will say Cardo, yes, the voice clarity via intercom was sharper. Clarity was better. But when you don't have the range, how does it? It doesn't matter. If you don't have the range, if you can't even speak to the person, then that voice clarity doesn't really do anything for
No,
you.
but that's a lot of range. Cardo was giving around 300, 400 meters.
That is what
max?
they claim.
That is the claimed is 1.6 kilometers when there is absolutely no obstruction. It's not going to happen in the city. Definitely not in Indian cities.
And what was the on ground?
So on ground, what we got was
From
about
Cardo?
Maximum 400
from Cardo
meters.
was about 400 meters. In fact,
With
the dealer we bought it from, and they got a range of about 300 meters, even less than what we got.
so the dealer who was selling it
themselves got a range of about 300 meters.
They checked it and they got a range of about say 300
meters. Yeah.
And what's with LEXIN? 1.7, 1.4.
1.6 is claimed. Now you're never going to get the entire claim range. Those are under absolute perfect conditions.
What did you get?
We get if we end up getting about 1.2, 1.3, we're more than happy.
Did you guys
we-
get 1.3, 1.4 on the way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in certain stretches, I would say definitely. See, the only point we were looking at switching from LEXIN was that it could connect more. The Cardo could connect more number of riders.
And
thus
yes,
it was
with the DMC.
With the
and
DMC, it
all
would
that.
all be on the fly. You don't have to, and it's got an app. Once you're connected, you're connected. Once you join, once you start riding with the group, you're automatically connected in the group. That was a big plus point with Cardo.
But it
but-
never gave you the connectivity,
Yeah.
so all plus points became minus.
Yeah,
I was always fascinated with this term called DMC.
No. So I have always been a fanboy of Cardo. I used the G9X, and I was very impressed. That was on Bluetooth, so I was expecting that the DMC would be a notch
should work
higher,
better. Yeah.
a notch higher, a notch better in terms of clarity and everything. But they have made better claims in terms of the connectivity. But on ground,
It doesn't.
felt
It doesn't.
like a-
Yeah.
See,
It
I
doesn't
think,
translate. Yeah.
Dumb dog, man.
We wouldn't have been talking all this unless we wouldn't have used
LEXIN.
LEXIN, because there would have been no benchmark for it. All these brands like Cardo and Sena and all of these have created a that hype about the brand and the product. I don't know how and why people who ride they don't understand, or they're not kind of familiar with the kind of connectivity that is available with other devices like these. 300 meters is no connectivity.
300 meters is nothing.
They also have no reference point. Like a person for the first time who's buying a
Cardo
Cardo
or a Sena.
does have nothing to compare it against. So they may think a 300-meter range is actually
That's the reality.
That's
If
how
you're
it is.
born into a matrix reality, then
Yeah.
that is your reality.
Yeah,
you don't know.
So
Agreed.
yeah, so that's why we felt that we had to switch back to LEXINs. The downside with LEXIN is you can only have 4 people at a time. So if you're riding with 8 people or 6 people, there is a group of 4 and there's a group of 2, or you are kind of bunched out into groups. But the whole point is that at least everyone is connected to another person at all times.
At least you have connectivity and the range, so that it is reassuring on longer rides, right?
Absolutely. It's good to know that there is someone behind you connected to. If you're in a sticky situation, you can reach out to the other person. It's obviously very helpful.
So finally, we're gonna summarize the whole experience of you using a Cardo versus a LEXIN. So
Right.
all out to you guys. So we will talk about in 3 pointers: basically connectivity, the price to buy ratio, and ease of use.
Yeah.
So all to you.
So I'll start with connectivity. Again, I think purely in terms of range, this goes over Cardo, because when you buy this kind of a device, you're riding with other people. You want to be able to be connected with them. So I think purely from that sense, even though it doesn't have mesh, it only works with Bluetooth. Just purely in terms of range, this device wins out.
So simpler device but better range.
Simpler device but better range. Ease of use, I think Cardo wins out because it's a one-stop shop. It has a one-stop shop app where everyone's connected. You don't have to press any buttons. This has the issue of you have to have be paired with each rider, and it takes you a good 15 minutes or so if you're not used to using the device to get up to speed with how to pair it with others. So you have to have bridges, and if the bridge falls out of range, then everyone else falls out of range.
Which is a very, very old school way of connecting.
Which is an old school way of connecting, but it still works. So if it ain't broken,
If it ain't broken, it's worthwhile using it.
So
Price to the price to the overall ratio. How do you
See, I think one LEXIN is 1/3 the cost of Cardo. Around $11,000 in Indian currency compared to 32,000 for a Cardo. So that's a clear win for a LEXIN, I would say. Connectivity and all Nikhil has already covered. Ease of use again he has covered. The only point I would like to make is that we've got different brands available in the market, and so much halla around all these big brands, and so much perception people have formed without using or knowing that there may be better products or technology available in the market that is far more that offers far more utility, I would say, for the riders, which should be experimented.
I think they're using the same technology. I think it's optimized better than other devices that are very well known in the market. I think people, as you said, don't have a benchmark to understand or compare.
What I've also observed is that within the riding fraternity, a lot of word of mouth happens.
Yes.
And if I am using a certain device, I would blindly go with what you've suggested. I would suggest you something like that. And that is what we did when Nikhil suggested us. So that's a fair point. I would not say that's a...
I would say at the end of the day, I had not tested the intercom, so we were taking a big chance when we bought this device.
We took a chance with both actually, with Cardo as well as LEXIN. LEXIN proved out to be a benchmark in terms of connectivity.
Also, you weren't spending that kind of money to take a chance. So I think purely from that perspective, I think we...
But today, if you ask me between a LEXIN or a Cardo, I think both of us would any day go in for a LEXIN.
Hands down.
Yeah. Even if we are only 4 connected. But we are 4 connected always, rather than 20 never connected.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So guys, on this bombshell, this is a couple of rides signing off. Bye.